Hey guys, it's been so long since I did an art based video, and I got to show you my new sketchbook tour. Like, it's not a new sketchbook, but I have a lot of sketchbooks, and I wanted to flip it through and kind of talk about it. The first one, I call it consistency because I started to become a little consistent with my art around that time. The second one, I call it hardship, and then this is called skirkles, which means scribbling. This sketchbook consists of just my like எப்படி சொல்றது loose paper drawings put into a book. It's not really like a sketchbook, but it's like sketches into a book. So yep, that's it. Those are my three sketchbooks so far. And on the downside, on the down part, I have written Nolja, which means let's play in Korean. I just wanted to keep my sketchbook like casual. I started the sketchbook on August 2021. It was my first ever sketchbook. This is actress Shobana. She's an amazing actress as well as a dancer, and I was learning Loomis heads from all the angles. It was from Proco's tutorial. You can see that the pages are really dirty here. Like, it is Aishwarya Rai from the movie Kandukondain, a random self-portrait-ish sketch. That is like my second self-portrait, if I'm right. Maunaragam. In order to be consistent, I kind of wanted to write all these ideas. I never really did them. That's that. I was drawing a deer from an illustration book, and this is Ranganadhar, a deity or an idol or like Murti of God. I sketched in black ballpoint pen and then I watercolored him. These are like again Indian ladies with black pen. I'm still into like sketching with black pens. They are kind of cool. So yeah, I was just loosening up, trying to get this form right. Always used to practice with grids, so this is kind of a training for me to just use freehand methods. I have a soft pastel portrait. It is like the first time I've ever used a soft pastel, just playing with it, and I wanted to like create a green shadows. It's kind of fun. And I have a little car. This is like a couple brush pen sketches. This is one of my favorite art from the sketchbook. This reference is from the music video called Paranoia, and it was a song that was like inspiring, heavy, and too expressive, and I wanted to kind of capture the expressions in there, so I just sketched it using Staedtler color pencils. It is a pretty serious artwork. I'm not really convinced with all the anatomy technically, but I think I love the expression and the rawness in the work and the colors as well. There is, if you see closely, there would be like purple shadows with the red, like yellow skin and red dress. Yeah, a couple charcoal sketches. Okay, so this is Bangchan and it says, like my stop procrastinating. I even got that quote on top somewhere. I just like it. I was experimenting with so many mediums like crayons, brush pens, black pens, graphite, trying to create this patterns and stuff. This is like my ultimate favorite sketch in the sketchbook. I just randomly started using like colorful colors and it turned out amazing, so I love it. This is a portrait of Bangchan, and this was drawn during my exams. I was using the highlighter to study and then I painted in them. Yeah, a tiny little sketches, and that's me. That's a little me. I remember I was drawing this during my economics period in 11th standard. To me, drawing during online class was pretty risky, so somehow I did that in painting, a watercolor painting in a railway compartment. I was traveling and I was like sketching it. It is like my first and I would say my only urban sketch that I did. I drew this in 4B graphite pencils, and I'm pretty much proud of how it is. Yeah, and this code kind of matters to me a lot. You tried, and that's what matters. I kind of want to say to everyone, because at times we don't appreciate ourselves that we as much as we deserve to. So yeah, you tried, and that's what matters. This sketch of Jihyo, I did it after an art block after my exams, and I used 3 color pencils to do this, and I'm still lucky proud of it. because I just used three color pencils, and I just learned about like primary and secondary colors. I was just experimenting with it. I thought I found a new style, so I started using only like three colors or three color pencils to create the sketches. We have a portrait of Jung Ho Seok, and this page is just a fun thing with my friends in my class. We just divided the page into eight, and we kind of created stuff. It's fun. This is the sketch which I filmed for the first ever time, and I made this into my first ever YouTube video. It was like the start of my page and a start of an era, cause you can see that I'm very comfortable doing charcoal portraits. I've never really worked in A5 size though. Like this is an A5 size sketchbook. All of my sketchbooks are in A5 size. I would always do like A4 sized, or I've even done A3 sized color pencil sketches and charcoal sketches. I'm very comfortable with charcoal, and when I just found out I can just like do proper detailed sketches in my sketchbook, I thought I would just do it. And also I wanted to draw something like postable or that looks more finished, so that I can keep working as an social media person as well as an artist, because I always had an art page, so I wanted to upload something to it. So I started doing like charcoal sketches which I am comfortable in. And these are like inspired by that Bangchan painting, so I just used like three colors or four colors to create a whole painting. I kind of, a few of them I traced it out, a few of them I hand drew it like the sketch, and then I filled it with the black pen, and then I painted on top of them with saturated colors, not really following like the natural skin tones. And the last painting that you saw, it right, it was a coffee painting. I even made a video about it, and after I finished the painting, I did let it dry, and then I closed the sketchbook. When I opened it, it was just messy and just spoiled. And when I drew on top of the same page, as you can see, rose, it kind of got even worse. So yeah, that's that. And you can see the sides on the right side of the pages. I started pretty, like, I became a little frustrated because I wasn't like doing much about my works. And at this time I was like filming as well as drawing and stuff. I was really burnt out, and I didn't feel very good as an artist. So yeah, I hated the portraits that time. I hated the fact that I was not being consistent in my sketchbook that time. So I just did some weird stuff to fill my sketchbook. This portrait of Yeji is like, I followed a James Gurney palette where I just, yeah, it's like a whole concept. Okay, yeah. So I just used a James Gurney palette, and I'm pretty much proud of it. These ballpoint drawings are like my old works done in 2020, like the year before I even started the sketchbook. And yeah, I just decided to stick them up to kind of fill the pages. I just badly wanted to finish it because it's been a year since I started the sketchbook and I haven't finished it. I felt pretty bad, so I just did that. You can see a lotus. My name means lotus, so there is a lotus, and there is an annyeong, which means bye in Korean. I'm not a Korean, I swear, but I just love it to like flex and talk in a language, or like use expressions from a language that I'm learning. So that's my first ever sketchbook. The second sketchbook is a watercolor sketchbook. Started it on 6th July 2022, and it took me exactly 1 year to finish this. I call it hardship. Self portrait. I was kind of I was kind of embarrassed to show it because it's kind of weird. I just did it at 1 a.m. I would say, and I was just using three color pencils, just a raw sketch, and then I was like doing some hanbok studies, which is like traditional Korean dresses. And then I have a watercolor painting. I did it in school. I didn't finish it, but yeah, I still like how much I got it. And then a couple sketches. I drew these on the train, And the daisy one, I have a video about it. I did this in train as well. I had an entrance exam coming up for applying to my art school. So I was learning all the watercolor techniques. I suck at watercolors. I have zero watercolor knowledge or experience. Okay, I have a couple experience, but not on a professional level. So I wanted to practice a lot. This is my friend. She was just sleeping in class, so I just drew her. I think it's my first ever live study. I have a gym and work, and I have a video about it, like a couple videos about it. This is just trying to fill the pages and stuff. I love this one. This is a water. This is an oil pastel sketch. I usually don't work with oil pastels. That day I just wanted to jazz it out. Turned out very good. I would say these are like my favorite pages from this book. I was learning watercolor that time. As I said, trying to prepare for my entrance exam, we had to draw a landscape into vase. So I had to make sure I'm finishing these within time as well, right? And I got a critique saying that my painting looked very flat. So I wanted to do a value study, and then I tried to copy the same with, with hues and with colors. So yeah, that's that. This is my school actually. I drew this in a morning where I was just waiting outside the class. Little gouache study. I think it's an okay-ish work, and I have some notes there. I tried to draw a gouache landscape, but I wasn't much motivated with it. This was during my board exams. Yeah, it was my 12th board exams, and to get back into painting, I started this 100-day portrait challenge. I just drew day 1 and a day 2, not much. This sketch is called Lean on You, and you can see in the background it's Lean on Me. It's about like vulnerability and expressing our vulnerability even when someone is ready to accept us. At times we kind of don't, try to show our weaknesses, but yeah, it's kind of some jazz. I have a pretty explanation in my Instagram post. You can read it if you are interested. Again, this is like the second day of my 5-day challenge. I didn't follow it. That's it. It's just the second day. I didn't continue it after that. So after this, I was in Chennai. So this is the last ever work I did in Trichy before moving to Chennai. Okay, and this is pretty sentimental to me. These are like works done in Chennai. I was like practicing them, and I was practicing like Asaro planes and the shading, stuff. Nevertheless, sketch. I just recently saw the Korean drama, and I was kind of inspired to work on it. So around this time, I was pretty much busy working with my entrance exam portraits and landscapes. We had a watercolor landscape coming up, and I just tried to like thumbnail and create a sketch. I'm not into watercolors, so it was like a headache for me. I felt very miserable, and really, I hated the whole process. I had to like keep on taking notes and keep on, at times even forcing myself to work it out because I just wasn't into it. And then I have a kerchief study. We were supposed to study drapery and clothes. I just decided to draw a kerchief real quick because I didn't do the homework, and it was like a quick little thing. And again, I have a lot of notes here because I couldn't get my mind into it. And one thing I pretty much sucked was the tree, right? I wasn't able to draw the tree very well, so I had to practice it again and again and again. I had like hundreds of paper just practicing this tree portion, and this one is like I drew the trees in my sketchbook because the paper wasn't dry yet, and I can't just keep it anywhere. Or I think I ran out of papers that day, so I just used my sketchbook for it. These trees are the amount of work I did in an afternoon. So imagine the whole 4-month process. That's tedious even for me to think about it now. And this is like a head study turning around, like there is a straight and then side like that, and that's it. Like that's the amount of work I did in that sketchbook. After that, I started to like like stick my old works which are finished or not finished, which I was supposed to like dispose or something. You can see like these are like unfinished pieces of work. I just wasn't very much proud of my path because I was totally burnt out that time as an artist, as a person, and I was very homesick, and I felt incapable. So I wanted to kind of acknowledge the fact that I've been trying all these years, and even if I'm not, even if I have not done so many artworks, it still matters, and I still did a good job out of it. So I just stuck all the paintings that I wasn't proudly showing off into the sketchbook. It's to acknowledge the fact that it is a hardship, and we are still going through it pretty well. And I have the watercolor swatch, and then this is a watercolor portrait of Trisha that I was doing from Ponniyin Selvan. This one actually, in the back of that Trisha portrait page, it is like a quick live study that I did in my classroom using a pen. My teacher was like she wasn't instructing, she was doing some work with another student. I just and quickly like did a sketch out of it. And this was a demo piece, and I kind of rushed to grab the demo work so that I can keep it as an inspiration. And I also have like, I stuck it on my wall, and then I have stuck it here. The Iron Man, it is a digital art that I did. I worked for 4 months in the year 2020 to 21, I would guess. And I remember this was the time when I got into the art school, and I felt completely I don't know, out of place, and a little obnoxious. Like, I wasn't interested anymore. Like, I couldn't draw anything. I didn't feel inspired by anything. I didn't feel like I wanted to draw. I craved creating art, but it wasn't as peaceful and as mindful it made me, and I felt very frustrated. And this was the time I was like, started pushing me in a very bad level. I wanted to achieve so much which I didn't. But yeah, so that's why I kind of stuck those papers. They are not great art, they are not good art even, but I wanted to acknowledge the fact that I wanted to pursue my dreams. And this one, okay, this is another one of my favorite page. This is a study that I was doing for my watercolor exam and stuff. I think when I was sticking these, I already dropped out of art school, and I came back home to my hometown, and I was chilling. And yeah, I just took all the drawings I had from my previous times, stuck those that had something with me, something that resonated with me, and disposed all the other works. And this is a sketchbook page which I like. It was just a random little day in my school, and I was like creating stuff. This is my first ever watercolor work. I think I kind of followed a tutorial by Isha Draws, and I think I did it in 2019. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of the sketchbook actually. Wave symbol, right? I kind of like oceans and water, that kind of symbolisms. So this sketchbook, as I said, it's not a proper sketchbook. I just took out all the other pages and kind of merged it, and I call this kirkles. I don't really call this kirkles. I just put the stickers on some random day, and now I don't have a name for it, so I just call it kirkles. This time I was in college actually. As I said, this is not in a chronological order. These are like rearranged and stuff. I was doing figure studies that time. This is like, I think, Edgar Degas, if I'm right. A little, not a study, but a little work inspired by The Starry Night by Van Gogh. I'm sorry. So I used like freshly out of the package oil pastels to do that. A lot of figure studies, and I was using timer with these ones, and like doing the shoulder things. I think I also like used the tutorial by the YouTuber Draw Like a Sir, and yeah, it's a pretty useful one. Created a little storyboard. I guess it's not a storyboard, but I just wanted to I had a very good emotional talk with my mom one day, and I wanted to kind of put it out into paper because it kind of resonated with me. These are like thumbnail sketches for a commissioned work that I was doing. I wanted to figure out how I'm going to place the couple. Like, it was a couple, so I was figuring out how I would make them look and stuff. And a drawing of a hand. And this has a history behind it, but yeah, this is from my note taking book. It says Kalluri Salai. It was the start of my college, right? So I took that. I stuck the notes, one of the pages from there. I just drew Monica. This is my friend's parents. They had an anniversary. I kind of drew them. They won in these gray paper, right? I was in a wedding and I wanted to draw because I felt bored. I couldn't just scroll through phone. That's kind of fun, and yeah, that's it. Again, these are like a little random pieces, right? I was studying Andrew Loomis, so I stuck there. More of Andrew Loomis figure studies to come. This is like from my tailoring class. I have a very bad history with that. I started taking up this tailoring course, an embroidery plus tailoring course. I got into the embroidery. I did a few of the motifs. I felt a little good, and all of these are like different types of stitches, like, and then there is a chain stitch, the hemming stitch, the stem stitch, I don't really remember, chain stitch, and magic double chain stitches, etc. Yeah, this is like a French knot, and I just learned all these new things and I was like doing them, but then I really got burnt out and I kind of quit it. Your daughter is a quitter, mom. But yeah, so I quit that one as well, and I just stuck the pages here. This was like my first ever portrait in the college. And then I have a couple like studies. We had they told us to draw like skulls and practice skulls. I did all of these in an A3 size paper, so I had to like crop them real well, and I just stuck it all. And this is like, there is a play in it, actually. When I decided to drop out of my art school, I did, guys. I never really told on YouTube about it, but yeah, I quit my art school, fine art school. They made us draw vertical lines. Okay, all week, all day, drawing vertical lines. It was frustrating. Like, they told us to draw like using a brush and an ink. That kind of resulted into me, seeing the red flags of the institution that I was going. So it was a deal breaker for me, and this is like a little play on it. This, I like this study. Like, we had a chair, and then we had all these like pyramid kind of shape, and then there is this football kind of shape, and we had to like copy them. I kind of like that one. And then I have a random page. Yeah, there was a flower vase as well. We were studying that. I could only get half of it, and because on the back of that A3 page I had skeleton studies. This is like a skeleton turnaround thing. This wasn't advised by our art school. I did this by myself. Some of them are from like purely from art school, and some of them are like things I did because I wanted to this because I wanted to study like cross hatches, but that time I didn't really get how to do it, and I didn't really refer to any videos. I think many videos are uploaded very recently teaching about all these like cross hatching techniques, but back then in my good old days, like an year ago, I couldn't find really good videos. So I kind of felt bummed about it because it didn't look pretty. And these are like my Andrew Loomis studies that I was doing around like December that year, November, December. I took a webinar classes, and these are like the notes from that one. And more Andrew Loomis figure studies. I did that with passion for a long time, but then at one point I just stopped it because I wasn't feeling it anymore. So yeah, these are the studies. I still love all the work that I did though, because I think I did a pretty good job, and I just stuck them into these pages. Lot more figure studies. I still loved it. I still loved studying it because I could kind of feel the difference in the way we control the pencil or handle the pencil for male and for females. Like, for males it is like very strict and like very static lines, and for females it was like very flowy and loose, and a lot more curvy lines. Like, I'm talking about the line qualities, right? Like, it had a lot more curve and looseness to it, rather than for male we had to be like very strong and bold about it. that kind of interested me. And I remember drawing these while listening to Jay Shetty's podcasts late at night. That was like my schedule at that time. I used to draw from 11 to 12 listening to Jay Shetty podcasts. I was at home because at the time I had dropped out of art school. This is like another page from that day I told you. This is like a charcoal work of Joey. As I said, a friend's nerd that I became at that time, like the start of 2024, and I sketched Joey. Then I have the notes. Okay, this is like another thing, another favorite thing of mine. Like the thing that I loved in my art school was the history of art lessons. I still have like a thing for the art history. I even have like books and I'm referring to them. I want to learn about the history of art more, and I kind of took avid notes out of it. It's only like half of my notes. I still have more, and it's like just keywords there. This is like an oil painting that I was doing. That's it. That's my sketchbook. That's the Kirkles. Those are like my sketchbooks, my old finished sketchbooks. I have a new one that I'm working on, and I've just done like 2 pages out of it. Yeah, that's my sketchbooks. Nice to see you. Bye.